Hi guys, it's April and this isn't my normal day. And I know I'm a few minutes early, but I'm just too excited. So we're starting now. So this week I am going out to Florida for BookNet Fest, and I made these adorable little bookmarks. And I thought it would be a cute idea to maybe do a little swoosh on the back with paint just to give it more character, because I didn't print anything on the back. I just printed on the front. And I wanted to give it a little bit of touch for me and I guess the crafty side of me. So I thought it would be interesting to try and use some acrylics in the same colors as my logo and see kind of what happens. So that is what we are probably going to do for the next hour or so. I've got maybe 30 of these bookmarks I've printed out to hand out at BookNet Fest. Hopefully I actually make it out there, but that's a completely different story. Okay, so I'm going to first lay down some paper towels because I trust no one. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Natalia. And then I've got these little jars that I'm going to mix my paint in. So I've got two, and there's not a lot of acrylic paint left in these guys, because these are the same colors I used for my wedding. So if you can't tell what some of my favorite colors are, I use them everywhere. But yeah, I'm gonna just bloop some in there, and then I'm probably going to add a little bit of water. So the funny thing is, I think I have a decent amount of pink, but it's just, I think this one is empty. The other one's fuller, which is why I grabbed both of them. I don't think I'm going to get much out of that. I haven't even started, and I've already got paint all over my hands. Okay, let's try the other bottle. Oy! I'm trying not to spray the paint everywhere. See, that's a slightly darker pink, but I think I can make do with that. I do have a test one that printed kind of wonky, so that'll be our tester that we try out. Probably going to move this over there so I don't continuously grab it. Okay, and then I have some water over here. Maybe. Now I don't know how much water I want to add, so this is going to be the real experimental part. So I'm just going to add a cap to each of them, because I also don't want the paint to go through the cardstock. So I don't think I want to water it down too much. And then I'm just gonna I might have to add some more. Yeah, I added too much water. Cool. And this is just the classic Americana paint. I had not paint swatches. Oh no, I think this one's clogged. That's awesome. Ooh, that was icky and runny. I had Pantone color swatches that I picked all these colors out with for my wedding, because I'm crazy like that. Okay, I kind of like that consistency. It's wet, but not completely see-through. If that made any sense whatsoever. But yes, this week I am hopefully going down to Florida for BookNet Fest to hang out with my fellow book nerds. And I think it's the very classical thing to make bookmarks with your socials on it. But I can't ever just leave it as one thing. I always have to add that extra little level to it. So the real question is, how do I want to do these swooshes? Do I just kind of want to go whoosh? Or do I want to go whoosh? Or I think more of like a diagonally swoosh would be cuter, just in my opinion. So something kind of like that. And then grab the blue. Probably still kind of solid. Oh no! See, that's what I was wondering about. Is how it would curl the paper and how it would change the edge of that. I don't think that's good because I'm starting. I mean, I guess I could possibly press them after they dry so that they retain their shape. You know what I mean? And it's not horrible that you see a little bit on the edge there. Maybe I'm overthinking this and I should just like leave the bookmarks as they are. I don't think I need more water. I think that would be a bad move. What if... Okay, so I got a couple other test ones that I could play with. Because it's not as if I didn't print off a whole bunch of these and can't print off more if need be. Let's see. There we go. So we're going to just kind of set that over there and maybe it'll dry interestingly. So, okay, I'm actually going to do this upside down. No, I'm going to do it this way. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Okay, so what if I went... I literally have no idea what I'm doing, guys. It's great. And then I go... That's just kind of weird, isn't it? I mean, we could be interesting about it. And then we end up, what am I doing? I don't know, but it's fun. You guys are in the middle of my brainstorming phase. I have not really thought this 100% through. Well, it's a thing that happened. Yeah, that's kind of weird. And I just feel like it's messing with the structural integrity of these things. I don't know. Maybe I should just kind of leave the... Look at how much that is warping. I'm wondering if... Okay. You're gonna continue to mess around and play. Because that is what I'm here for. Okay. So, I'm not against some of the effect that's going on there. But let's see. So I'm going to do something weird. Yes, I'm painting the paper towel. Just roll with it for a second. So what if we just kind of, something like that, and then need a little bit more pink. The only problem is I don't want it like too thick. And I know it's the water that's warping. But I also don't want... I didn't get that very even, did I? Well, that's another thing that just happened. But the thing is I get paint all over my hands. I mean, it's not necessarily... Yeah, it's one of those things that you would definitely... Because, okay, so... The one thing I'm super paranoid about is if I don't dilute this paint a little bit, is that when you put it inside of a book, the acrylic paint will stick to the pages inside the book. And that's what I don't want to happen. So maybe acrylic paint isn't even the way to go. But the problem is when you start getting into the watercolors or even the alcohol markers, you're going to start bleeding through the paper. So I'm kind of in this like really weird place that I don't necessarily know how I want to proceed. Because let me grab... Because see, these are my Copics, so we're gonna do a test to see. Yeah, and I didn't really know that either, Elizabeth, until I started doing the painted books for my wedding, and they sit for long periods of time on the shelf and they just start sticking together. And the acrylic paint has this really like interesting texture that tends to grab things. Okay, so this is the cobalt blue and the fuchsia. Let's see, which side do I want? And this is pretty much just a test to see how this is going to work with this paper. I mean, it's pretty. Yeah, so you start getting some of that bleeding, which is why I wasn't gonna touch. Well, this might be like the shortest stream of all time. Because I don't necessarily like how any of this is going. The thing is, I probably needed to buy thicker cardstock, but this is the cardstock that I had on hand, and this is the last minute decision I decided to do. Okay. Because the water-based markers are going to do the same thing, is my guess. Oh, well, that actually worked a little bit better. But the thing is, all of my water-based markers are like teeny tiny. And I don't exactly know what kind of design I would do with them. You know? I mean, I got this ginormous Crayola. It might be interesting. Let's see, once you start getting a lot of ink on there, you're going to start getting that warping again. Would be my guess. It's not really the same blue, is it? Wop, wop, wop. Could also try the India ink. That could be a way to go. That's probably too dark of a blue. Yes. Which means either one. This one. Probably go with the big brush, even if it's not a perfect match. Hi, Robin. Well, I mean, you could laminate it, but I leave in 2 days. So the thought of trying to laminate 30 or 40 bookmarks is terrifying. Oh goodness, I can't reach the pings from where I'm sitting. But see, the thing is with like the India ink and things like that, you get the streaks, which I wanted to avoid. Yeah, that's even making the ink on the other side start to feather out because of the water that was in the ink of the paint. So like I said, I mean, this is a home craft. I wasn't trying to do anything too fancy. I don't have the expensive equipment, I suppose. I'm starting to think that I should just leave the bookmarks alone. Whoops. I do have gelatos. Where did I put my gelatos? That is the question. Doot doot doot. I don't know where they are. I'm sure I put them someplace that made a whole lot of sense. It's just now, when I actually want to find them, I don't know where they'd be at. If I was a gelato, where would I be? Can you just hear me opening all of the drawers repeatedly? Why is that even in there? That's not even the right... Oh, hey, look! Found the gelatos. Wow. I don't know if I would have thought of them in there, but okay. Okay. So I have a grand total of 3 gelatos, which I suppose is appropriate. And guess what colors they are? Once again, can you tell what my favorite colors are? Okay, so the real question is, what happens when you put gelato on this paper? The second question is, how do I want to use gelato on this paper? Getting paranoid. I think I'm going to put another piece of paper towel down. Okay. Okay. use my finger. Granted, we come up to another problem of I need to get a fixing agent so that these colors don't come off on people's books. I mean, I have Mod Podge. That I suppose I could. But my concern, once again, is we're adding water to the paper. And then how is that gonna work? Yeah, gelatos were something I thought were like really, really cool. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't necessarily know how I would use these. Okay, I've got this Mod Podge spray. Now, I use this to seal a lot of my, what are they? The paint swatch artwork. So, you know those little paint swatches that you can get at like Home Depot and all of those places? I've made art out of those in the past, and I've always sealed them with this. So, we're going to see how this ends up wrinkling the paper. And see, there you go. And that's what's going to happen. Woo! Forgot how much of a whoof that was. Woo! Probably should do that outside, guys. Or at least in a well-ventilated area. Wow. I am just all kinds of, do not do this at home today. Whoo! Okay, that was an incorrect move. Incorrect. Oh, guys, I'm so glad you still hang out with me even though I'm crazy. Well, we're gonna let that dry. Oh, okay. Bad move. I do have regular Mod Podge, which would probably have been a better idea. Aerosol inside of a house. Not always the smartest move. It's dissipating though. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Wow, how do I exist? How have I lived this long? Okay, do we have another one that I am comfortable destroying? Because we've kind of gone through. We could probably do it on this one. We could test the Mod Podge over the acrylic. See how that goes. Thing is, I need another brush. Oh. And then, what am I going to do with all that acrylic paint? I don't want to waste it. Do we have a book that I could paint? Maybe that's what we'll spend the rest of the half hour doing. Painting a random book. Holy fudge, that, yep. I'm going to be smelling that for a while. Okay. That's not a good sign. If I can open my Mod Podge, which I may not be able to because everything is sticking together. Ew. You're welcome. What is this? Okay. Just put it between my legs. Okay. Just gonna kind of sweep it. This is probably the most awkward live stream I've ever done. Epic fail live streams? Suppose we just kind of wait for that to dry and see how that goes. I mean, we've kind of got a limp bookmark now. So we just kind of set it there, let it dry. I don't know, suppose have a little conversation with you guys. See how all of you guys are doing. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I could probably close my gelatos. Don't think we're gonna go with the gelatos. So Mod Podge is this wonderful invention that is pretty much just a mixture of glue and water, but it creates this seal, this barrier. So they call it a water-based sealer, glue and finish. So do you ever remember making your own piñatas growing up? And how you would dip the newspaper in this like weird mixture of glue and water? That is exactly what Mod Podge is. And then it just creates this barrier between whatever you're doing that it creates this solid coat. Okay. Whew. I mean, after that dry, that wasn't too bad. It's not necessarily coming off on my fingers. It's a little pastel-y for my taste. Ooh, that smell is going to linger for a while. Okay. I think we can call most of these duds. And I suppose we can see how this one dries. I don't know, but yeah, it still does that little Yeah, I might just leave the bookmarks alone. I had this whole big grand idea in my head. And as you can see, it didn't quite come to fruition the way I wanted it to. And maybe that's okay. Maybe I don't have to have like extremely fancy bookmarks, because I mean these are adorable. I mean, I like how these turned out. You know? I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts? I still haven't closed the gelatos because I'm cool like that. Oh, goodness. Holy cow, Robin, that is amazing. So your goal was 365 books this year, and you're at 375. That is extremely impressive. I think I'm just gonna kind of, yeah, just kind of, should probably, yeah, I don't want the animals to get into that trash. Are you enjoying all of the books that you're reading? Because I know you do a lot of books for review and all of that. So that's drying. I think it's a little bit much. So, instead, do I have a run of books that needs to be painted? I don't know. I think I packed all of my books. I don't really have any that I can throw acrylic on. So the acrylic paint, probably, unless I put, yeah, but I don't want to move the paint. Because the thing is, that's kind of, I mean, I'm sure if I started putting it on a canvas or a book or whatever, it's not actually going to be that much. Maybe I just call it a wash. It's not like the acrylics are too terribly expensive. It's just, I suppose, more the principle of the thing. Okay, well, I think this has been a little bit of a bust, but thank you for hanging out with me as I discovered that it was a bust. Yeah, I think that's the only way you can do it, Robin, is if you go through that much. I mean, because when you hit a book that you're really not that interested in, it's hard to plow through them like that. So I am very, very impressed. Okay, well, since that kind of didn't work out the way I wanted it to, which is okay, I suppose. It's not like I still don't have really cute bookmarks. I am going to call it there. But if you guys have any ideas of how I can zhuzh up these bookmarks, let me know down below, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.